Alright, so let's talk about a couple of things. And I'm going to keep saying it. If you don't want to hear me talk, be gone. Because this is important stuff. Most of them people that's going to be watching my channel, they are not, odds are, they're not going to buy a Ford clutch package. They're going to get aftermarket. In my personal opinion, look is one of the best ones. What do I do with the box? Did I throw it away? No. Let me find the box. Look, Schaefer, that's the one I got for here. Kit comes with everything you need. Now, they have their own videos on how to properly install this. So I'm gonna put a link, whatever. I'm gonna put something in the description to install what? I forgot where I was at. What was I saying? Where the Okay, so let's start over. Shit, let me just start over. All right, so here's the deal. Everything here is matched, okay? So you got to put together matched. End of the day, I guess I was saying that most people are going to buy aftermarket kit. Do yourself a favor, at the very least, get the Luke kit. I know that in my experience, they're good clutches. They normally don't make bad stuff, but whatever. I know there's a lot of the aftermarket hate and all that good stuff. I don't care. Whatever. Moving on. These things are matched, so you have to make sure that everything goes together the way it's supposed to go together. Now, I'm going to start by just telling you that the Luke has got shipping brackets. If you forget that these in here and you forget to take them out, your clutch is going to fail. Boom. That's simple. All right. So what they want you to do is they want you to put the little motors in place. Depending on the source, they say some of them stick the bolts. Some of them say stick the bolts in it. Some of them do not. Whatever. Anyway. These two bolts here, the silver ones that bolt the entire thing on, not the spring bolts, the silver ones. Those are 19 Newton meters. I'm going a little bit more than 19 Newton meters. I'm going to go 20. Yes, that you heard me right. I'm going to torque it a little bit higher. And yes, these here are going to get torqued. As I said before, when you put them in, make sure they're sitting in the slots like they're supposed to. So that's that part of the equation. Now I got that done. The spring cups, that's your other bolts that need to go in there. They have sequence numbers. All right, the last 4 digits on the arm, let's say on this side right here, shoot, let me get a light, bad eyes, sorry guys, 0055. Now, I cannot show you this, I don't think. The middle digits on here should match 0055. So there is our 0055. So that corresponds to this one. I'm going to do one more. This one is 1310. So here in the middle we have 1886 0055 1886. Make sure that I read that correctly. Like I said, my eyes are crap. I hate it, but it is what it is. 1886 is what it's saying. So 1886. 1886 right here. That one is right here. One 310. Two 2010. Well, we don't have these, so maybe not. Or maybe it's just those two. I'll have to look at it again. I guess it's the outer ones because I can't match this up otherwise. Also, note your lines up there. Well, party people, there's marks here that's got to line up. Remember that. You don't line it up, you're asking for failure. 29 Newton meters is the torque. Remember I said that. And this is the one part of this job here that you do want to take care and make sure you do it right. Little one. I gotta find more link over here, so. That when I took it apart, it was ridiculously tight. I like to not got this thing out of there. Well, when I say that, what I mean by that is I try to break it loose, holding it like that, like I just did, tightening it, and I try to break it loose, and my God, that thing was tight. So I think they over tightened it. Like I said, guys, don't forget to take these out. That's going to bite. They claim this clutch assembly will not correctly function if that is forgotten. You will be doing this job again, that's what they say. Other than that, this thing here is actually ready to go back together. Everything looks good. We got the lubrication on, well, with the exception of one thing. They want you to put a little bit of transmission fluid, use some of that oil and put on this metal, and then they want you to use a Ford Special Grease on the splines. Now, Ford Special Grease, okay, so whatever. You don't have to get Ford Special Grease. Wheel bearing grease, a full synthetic wheel bearing grease will suffice. It's just fine. Trust me. That is not going to be a problem on the clutch assembly. There's far worse things than what you can do. Like I said, they want you to lube up the splines. Any suitable wheel bearing grease will do that job. But don't go crazy on this because we don't need crazy. I mentioned this time and time again. I use little acid brushes to do work like this. And what I do is I cut the top part of the bristles off of it, make the brush a little bit stiffer, and it also tends to prevent the bristles from coming out of there and getting stuck and on stuff, in stuff, on stuff, whatever the case may be. These here are disposable. I'll throw them away when I get done with it. And there's a Valvoline, in case you wondered what I'm using. Suitable for all makes, all model wheel bearings, so it's definitely good for what I'm trying to do here. You can reuse the red, but I don't like to use it on stuff like that. Suit yourself. Move. Move. Thank you. But anyway, now that you have that, so to finish the story, so I don't get this too long. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put everything else together and replace the harness, put it back on, inspect everything. I'm going to inspect all the sensors again to make sure all of that is going to be good. But other than that, I'm going to go to the point. What am I trying to say? I'm going to go to the point where we're going to bolt this thing back in, and I'm going to end the video there. And the reason for it is it's going to be whatever you undid prior, you just have to redo it. So I'm not going to film all that, and I will not film the process of learning it. The write-ups are readily available for that, and if I think about it, I will post it in the video. But anyway, I'm not going to repeat myself on this one, so pay attention now. Me, myself, I'm going to do resets and all that good stuff in the Ford software. You know, so I will do that, and I'm going to check calibration to make sure the calibration is up to date and all that good stuff. So we're going to get all that done, and I'm fairly certain that you don't have that kind of stuff laying around. So odds are you cannot do that where I am. So there's no need me making a video of something that you can't do anyway. All right, so I'll pause you up and get everything ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sorry about that camera. Okay, so I told you I was going to show you this. So I'm going to show you this. All right. So there's your TCM. And this is the wiring harness that I was talking about, that I thought one of them could stay on there, and I took it off anyway, but look at that, it's not a big deal. I verified the seals, I verified these plugs. We checked the speed sensor here. I still got to put the 10mm back on it. Matter of fact, while I think about it, so I don't forget accidentally, of course it's easy to get to, but we sure don't want to forget. We'll slap the dewey back on there. Zeus, get in here. Getting ready for another round of tornadoes and bad weather. Flooding like crazy and all kinds of other good stuff. I did leave a link in both videos, actually, for the videos that I'm going to recommend you watch. This part, by the way, forward is part. Not that it makes a heck of being a difference. So I'll lubricate my swivel a little bit. That thing don't work too good. Here's an important thing. Okay, so this, like I said, this came with new nuts. So I took a little red marker here. There's a mark already on it, but I made it a little bit clear to see. And then I did the same thing up top, right there. There's a mark right there. These marks go together. So that's got to line up. So basically what I'm telling you is this little unit right here is going to go into that hole, and it's also, at least that's how I've done it in the past and how I remember it. 1, 2, and 3. You skip. I'm going to do this as a visual. You skip these. Those 3 gets put on, tightened to like 20 Newton meters, and then you set the other one. The other ones do the same thing, and then go in sequence around and tighten them up. But you want to do these 3 first. And I'm sure they do that so stuff don't get twisted. The snap ring, you see that in the videos that I linked. There's a gap over here on the mark. So everybody knows this. Like I said, the most important thing is right there that these line up. If you have kind of idle vibration or something like that, and after we get done, I've done something wrong, because these things here should not have any vibration. Period. I mean, none whatsoever. What I'm talking about. Well, we'll just have to pick our spot right here, see where that goes. So that one I'm going to set the easiest way that I found to do it, right there. I'll put that right there, okay? So I know, let me show you this too. Maybe I can. Tell you what, let me get this camera off. That might be the easiest way to do it. And get the camera off and walk over here and grab me a light. Maybe the easiest way to do it. Right there is the divot that I was talking about. Right there is where you get your bolts in. That's where the starter sits. Okay. So told you I was going to show you all that, and after that I'm going to turn the camera off, because you can just reverse what we did to take this transmission out. But essentially, we could go up, and I'm going to let that rest here. The swivel is not very good on this here. I bought that hook. It's supposed to swivel easy, but it never did swivel easy though, so what gives, you know? Just like on the way down, we do the same thing on the way up. Of course, we're going to be very careful so we don't rip stuff off, because I can promise you that's a downside working with something like this, because that gantry up there, it doesn't care. It's just going to keep pulling. Matter of fact, it's going to pull the whole entire car. It's 1.5 tons, so do your math. That's 3,000 pounds. It don't care. It'll pull that friggin' car off the lift if you ain't careful. Of course, here is the funny part. It's going to be a little bit more tricky, because it's going to want to do some silly stuff. This thing is probably going to want to roll on you. So we have to definitely keep an eye on our marks up there. Sorry, you can't see nothing. I'll have to get you like this. Wrong knob. This damn stand's got too many knobs. But we'll have to pay attention to our alignment and our holes. In a natural state, what am I trying to say? In a natural state, that lifting bolt, the lifting hole up there on the transmission, puts the transmission just about right where it needs to be. Makes it actually really easy to put it in. Now, as you can see here, I'm a little bit high. Well, I don't know if you can see that or not. I said that. I'm a little bit high, a little bit over, but other than that, I'm getting really, really, really close. Yeah, so that's it right there. So now I'm going to get this remote out of my hand. And then we have to see about getting this lined up. Now, I can't do the camera and do both of them, because I'm going to have to stand right in front of where you are. I'm not going to mess the job up because I want to make a video. That's not ever going to happen here. Oops, sorry about the hand. But anyway, I'm going to pause you up, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like you can see but what I'm doing, but the point is, I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So, put this on. Okay, actually this is number 2. You skip, I put the first one on, I took a picture with my cell phone, make sure that I'm on the alignment mark, and I was. So here, like I said, this is the second one. Done. Barely tighten it up. All right, put your hand back in there. So this is actually the third bolt, or the second bolt or nut. Here's another stud. We don't want that one. Keep it rolling to the next stud. Here's another stud. We'll roll up on that one. That's the one we want. And if that went right, we should have another stud coming up that doesn't have a nut. If it's not right, I can still start over because I still haven't tightened them up to the first sequence. Okay? All I'm doing is just putting them on. That's all I'm doing. I'm putting them on just better than hand tight. All right, so just now starting to catch and barely put a little bit some on. Now, roll it again. Like I said, there shouldn't be a nut coming up. There should be a bare stud coming up. And there's that bare stud right there. So we're going to roll it around. Now here's my nut. Here's a stud. That's how I do it. So get the picture. Now I'm going to put the other nuts on. Now these don't get, I still don't torque them yet. I'm going to skip the torquing till I get all of them at least hand tight. Then I go back to the first one. Then I start torquing, and I'm going to quit talking now because now I got to remember what I'm doing here. So I said it once, I say it 500 million times more. This bracket here, because of the way it's bolted to the transmission, it bolts like this and straight up, straight down. You'll have to tie them up together. You can't cram this bolt tight here and then tighten the other ones. That's not how that works. You're going to mess something up in a bad way. So now that I got this tight, almost tight, this here snugged, I can go ahead and pull that up without aluminum breaking. And a good telltale sign is the fact that up here, that sounded violent, more violent than what it was. What I was going to say, the fact that the bolt actually goes in very easy up top, it's a dead giveaway that we're not crooked or bound or anything like that. It's just hard for me to get an angle on it on account of its location. That's why I'm kind of a little bit struggling. Now I'm struggling to find my wrenches. Couldn't even begin to tell you how old this gets. This is getting so old with these bad eyes. And I'll tell you, it ain't worth a crap. Everything I do, I have to squint to see, and I can't get any more powerful glasses. I need the surgery, what I need, and well, I ain't got that kind of money laying around. Alright, so that's the next bolt goes in here. That's that one. I'm fairly certain. Don't tighten that yet. And then we're going to have to find the bolt that goes to the body. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to what I took out of it. I got hog wild after it and didn't pay attention. That means I'm running out of freaking bolts. There it is, it's black, of course. Of course it would be black. It's getting late, I'm getting aggravated, it's time to quit. Stuck my finger and crap falling off my toolbox all at the same time. So now it's time to go knock off. It's probably 8, 9 o'clock already anyway, so well, I'll shut her down. Done. We'll continue this in the morning. Continuing on. Bolt back in. That one is hooked back up and didn't undo the other side. Brackets, of course, are draw shaft. Don't forget the shell on your bearing. So got all this here back in. So now the actuators are actually very easily accessible. You have to remove battery tray and all that good stuff if you want to get that from the top. Like I said before, I checked all the sensors and all that good stuff. So all of this is hooked up. The ground here, the ground stud, that's hooked back up. Make sure if you unplugged your pressure sensor, make sure that's hooked back up. Clip our plastic in down here. Of course, same here. Everything is back together. And we can now move to the top. So when you back here, check your ground wires before you put the battery box back on. And make sure you don't pinch the wire. I remember, I forget if it's on a video or where it was. I have no idea. But somebody had a problem with the car not wanting to start, and they had plastic over the intake. Oh man, that was too funny. They had, anyway, like I said, they had plastic over the intake. That car never would fire up, obviously. And we'll put the battery in here first. Oh man. This will work until the next guy comes in and breaks them off. I guess camera should be able to pick that one up, but you might not if the noise cancellation did this. We got loose. Oh yeah, really good on that side. Cool out there. Yeah. This is either the front part or the rear part. No, it's the front part. The rear part, one of them wasn't on there, and apparently it was the rear part that's not on there, so don't panic. You want to go night-night in there? All right. Go there. Lay down. Ooh. Lube that crap up and this thing will fall in basically. Anyway, I want to end the video right here, guys, girls, whatever. Don't want to upset anybody. Let me get my ugly noggin out of the face here. Oh, my face out of the camera. Go. Maybe get the light out of the camera as well. So in a nutshell, this thing's got to be learned. I'm going to do the programming as well. By the way, that's why I just said that. I forgot that. So not a big deal. I slapped that in there real quick. But yeah, got distracted there and forgot it. But anyway, guys, like, subscribe. Leave me some comments in the comment section. If you have any questions, if I have time, I'll answer them. Maybe a minute. We'll see you on the next one.